Hello there, we are Vanessa and Justine from Poddy Black, and we're here today to tell you a little bit about vulcanised rubber boots and shoes. So we need to start off with what vulcanised rubber actually is.
Okay, well, rubber is rubber. It grows on trees. It's a natural product. We use the term vulcanised because it gets baked. That's what cures it. That's what makes it hard and durable and waterproof. Vulcan, as you know, was the god of fire. It goes in a big old oven.
And today we're going to explain to you why a vulcanised rubber boot is a bit different from other boots that might be available, and how they're constructed and what makes them so strong and durable.
They're handmade, unlike other kinds of boots that are made of oil essentially, which are made in a machine. They just get squirted into a machine and out they pop at the other end, and there's millions of them. Vulcanised, on the other hand, is genuinely handmade, and we've got all this stuff laid out on the table because we're actually going to show you. We can't take you to the factory, unfortunately, but we're going to show you how to make a pair of boots.
So where do we begin?
Well, we begin, as we always do with shoemaking, with a last. That's the foot-shaped form that you build the boot on.
Ooh, that's clever. We haven't got a last, have we? Have we got a last?
We actually have a last. In true Blue Peter fashion, I have a last. Here is a last. As you can see, this is an antique wooden last that's been converted into a toilet roll holder. And we don't need the toilet roll, so we'll get rid of that. That can go. But this, as you can see, is an old wooden last. Now, our vulcanised boots, because they go in the oven, they get cooked, don't get made on wooden lasts, they get made on metal lasts. They're made of aluminium. So imagine this, more or less, made of aluminium. Handily, it's got a handle on it because when it goes around the factory where we make the boots, it really does go round like that, and then it goes into the oven on the metal last.
What goes on first?
Okay, first thing that happens is we put the lining on. Now, lots of you will know our Poddy Black lining. You remember the recycled cotton lining with our special little print on it. Well, this is the lining sock. Great big thing here.
A big sock, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you is inside there is the cotton lining with the print on it, and on the outside is a very thin layer of rubber. That's not the colour of the boot. We're going to make this boot today. I've got two here actually, because what's interesting with Poddy Black shoes is that we use loads of colours. This one's got 6 colours, which is quite a bother for the factory to make all these different pieces. But the shoe that we're going to make today at the kitchen table is that one, which is only 3 colours. So we're going to make this one.
Yes.
Only 3. All right. So we start with our sock. First thing we do is we pull the sock onto the last. Here we go. Now pull it on. It's quite a job. You're going to pull the tube on like that. And then we're going to pull it over the heel. Oh, it's quite a tough job to do. But there we go, you get the idea, okay? So it's been pulled on. This will be nice and snug. And that's the inside of your boot. So here we've got a thin layer of rubber that's not the outside of the boot, because as you see, the outside of the boot is green and it's been coloured. So, next bit. Okay, right, I have a trusty tool. This is my brush. Everything gets painted over with a bit of liquid latex to make it stick before it goes in the oven. So there you go, that's what that's for, just as a reminder. So first things first, this is the heel shape. You know, on the side of our shoes, you've either got the shape of the heel there that you can see in profile through the green, or on some styles you can actually see the heel. We're going to make this one today, so the heel goes inside. So that gets laid first of all. If you hold that for me, Justine, that will get laid onto there like that. You hold that for me. And then this is the main body of the shoe. This is called the vamp, and this is individually cut. Each sheet is individually cut by hand. All of the patterns are made separately, so there's none of that machine injection moulding business, and that has to be laid on and carefully pull the rubber around so that it joins at the back and it makes the shoe shape. So you're starting to see how the boot goes together. Okay.
Okay.
So that's that piece. The
And
next
then-
one, another little coating of latex rubber. Thank you very much. To put the toe cap on, there's the toe cap. That gets put on like that. And you start
Beginning to
see
get
the shoe taking shape. Okay.
So what goes on next?
Next is the long thin strips that go all around the bottom. They're called foxings.
Right, so there's 2 of these.
Why are there 2, Justine?
Is that because they're made in a pair?
Exactly.
Right,
We make
okay,
a pair
so-
at a time, so they were cut as a pair. We're only going to use one of them because at the moment we're making a right foot. And the worker in the factory has to place that, again, bit of wet latex brushed on there so everything sticks together. Places it all around the bottom like this, all around the bottom like this, and then we'll snip it and stick it so that it exactly fits around the bottom line of the boot. Okay, marvellous. That's the bottom foxing. Now we're going to turn the whole thing upside down. Now, bearing in mind we've already got a shoe here, but here's a sole. That's the sole. That's a piece of uncooked rubber that's going to be laid on the top. There's a heel, separate little heel. That's also uncooked rubber. That's going to get stuck on there. And you see how we start to make the whole thing. Oh my God, come together.
Cutting and sticking as we
Cutting
go.
and sticking. Hey, Blue Peter fashion.
There we go.
There we go. So there's that
So
one.
there, yeah, okay.
Now we've got all sorts of little bits of details because we have to give this shape. Now our boots, either on the Chelsea cut style, Chelsea chop style that we're just making here, has got the elasticated gussets. That's these. So we're going to stick those gussets onto the side, or in the case of the half cut, some of you might know, it's got that special scoopy shape. But we do that with these thin strips of rubber.
And they get stuck on
The
too.
worker very skillfully will work that around there.
I don't know how they do this.
No, honestly, without any crinkles and
Yeah, I
wrinkles
know.
and me making it look like a,
Right, dog's dinner.
a dog's dinner, frankly. Okay, so that all gets stuck in
I don't
there.
think you get a job.
I definitely wouldn't get a
Definitely
job.
not.
Other pieces that get stuck in, here's the back tab. So if you've got a pair of Chelsea chops, you know it's got this handy little loop, finger loop at the back. You put that on there, that gets stuck on
And
there.
then the little Poddy and Black.
You know the Poddy
goes
Black
at the back.
gets stuck on at the back.
There, and then of course the Poddy.
The Poddy.
The
And
famous
that's also
Poddy.
going
And then
there.
that goes.
So
in
here is a beautiful, ready for the oven shoe or boot. Isn't it gorgeous?
Lovely, yes.
I definitely think
Yes.
we've got another job here. to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what does it do next? It goes in the oven. It literally goes on that metal last, on a metal trolley, into a great big oven where it bakes for 40 minutes at 180, as Delia would say. And once it
Bit
comes
hotter
out,
than that though, I
bit
think.
hotter than that, probably.
Yes.
Once it comes out and it's baked, all of these separate pieces, which as you see are all these separate pieces,
How many pieces?
have
altogether?
baked together so as to make a totally impenetrable waterproof boot. There is, as you remember, all the bits of trimming that need to be done because we had that sock bit that was hanging out of the top. It all needs to be cleaned up and made lovely and clean and gorgeous.
Oh, and then they test them as well.
Oh yeah, this is your favourite
In
bit.
a tank of water, they submerge the boot, blow air into the boot. As long as there's no bubbles, it's good to go. There we go. And
You
then
like that bit?
I do like that bit very
She likes
much.
that bit.
Yes, very much.
And then it goes in a shoebox and then it comes to you. How about that?
How about that? So there you go. That's how vulcanised
Rubber boots
are made.
are made at my kitchen table.
Yes, just like that.
Just like that.
We do hope you enjoyed that and it cleared a few things up for you. And now you know how they're made. Marvellous.
Marvellous.